Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Lori. This video is another client session, and this session is with the Pleiadians. So the Pleiadians are a consciousness that exists in a higher dimensional realm or field. They typically exist between a 7th and 9th dimensional field, depending upon where their consciousness is residing. And in this session, the client connects to her star family or her family of light or the galactic beings, her guides, call it whatever you want, but they are this higher consciousness that they've been guiding her and connected to her since she incarnated into the physical life. And what they did with her in this session is really powerful, and it's the reason why I want to share the session with all of you. She has a lot of physical ailments, and they're becoming debilitating, and they're driving her crazy, making her really depressed. What the Pleiadians did and shared with her was that it's severe trauma stored in her body. And this trauma was never released out of her. So when we have an experience outside of ourselves that is traumatic or uncomfortable, when the consciousness comes in to be experienced through thoughts, beliefs, emotions, feelings, if it's too much for us, we don't enjoy it, we won't process it and clear it all the way through, and it will store. Trauma stores because we don't want to feel and experience the trauma. She had a huge amount of trauma stored in her body, and what happens when it stores and builds up over time is that it becomes physical ailments. So the beautiful Pleiadians gave us this amazing guided journey into her physical form. They guided us inside her body, inside the electrical grid system, and they allowed us to see, feel, experience the trauma, to literally see it inside of her, to connect to it, to understand it, that the physical ailment is just a consequence, basically, something that is a consequence to the trauma that's actually stored in there. And they gave her step-by-step ways to clear it, right? They walked her through how to understand this and how to move it through her. And they also were very, very conscious of how difficult it is for the human to grasp this, how difficult it is for the human to really believe that it can be this easy, that it can be very simple, that physical ailments can be seen as energy and consciousness. These beings are trying to assist us through this process of ascension and moving into higher states of consciousness through these kinds of experiences that they showed this woman in this session. And that's why I want to share it with you. So I hope you enjoy it. If you know anyone that is going through some severe physical ailments that's really driving them crazy and they can't understand, perhaps this session will help them. You know, it's one thing for us to read about it. It's one thing for us to kind of conceptualize or understand from a mental perspective what happens and how consciousness is stored and how healing works. But to be able to actually have a journey with these beautiful beings, moving us into the physical body, showing us how to connect to this consciousness, this trauma, and teaching us how to clear it out. These beings are teaching us in this session how to clear it out. That is a gift. And it's up to us to be able to trust that. It's up to us to be able to learn how to do it. They can only do so much, right? They can only guide us so much. And then it becomes our own day-to-day process and willingness to move through it. All physical ailments is energy and consciousness stored inside of the body. That's it, for the most part, right? There's a lot of environmental things that could happen as well. But most physical ailments that a lot of us are experiencing is energy and consciousness stuck inside the physical form. Everything's energy, everything. So I hope you enjoy it. Please comment below if you have any experiences that you want to share from the Pleiadians. They're a very different energy than the Sirians. So the other great thing about this is you got to experience the Sirians and the Sirian energy in the last client session, and now you get to experience the Pleiadians, and you'll be able to feel the Pleiadian energy, and you'll feel the difference because they are different vibrational beings. So like the video if you liked it, pass it on to somebody if you think they would enjoy it or benefit from it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate every single one of you for being here, for commenting. I love you all so much. And my next video coming up after this is about dimensions. So I'm excited to share that with you. I love you all. I hope you enjoy. Bye-bye. And then just continue to take deep breaths in and out through your nose. Nice and long, slow inhales and exhales. And drop your body. So let your shoulders completely relax and drop. Let your arms drop, your fingers relax and drop. Make sure your palms are up so you can receive the energies coming in. Back is relaxed, sacrum's relaxed, legs are relaxed. Just dropping in. And then I want you to start to connect to your breath inside your body. So I want you to start to feel your diaphragm rising and falling, your stomach rising and falling, your chest. And I want you to imagine that you are actually moving inside the body. So you're going to find yourself navigating inside the form through the connection of the breath. So find your breath and bring your awareness into it. And if you can't do that, that's okay. Just try to get as close as you can to really connecting to the breath. And from this space, I want you to look up and ask for the 7th energy center to open, your crown. There are a lot of beings that are already in the room with you.
I feel them.
A huge amount of healing that you've been asking for or going through or courageously working through. Something with a lot of
Yes.
pain or
Yes.
so they're just acknowledging that they have been with you. There's a feeling of being completely alone, a lot of anger that you've been left here alone, kind of dropped down here. Where are you? What is this? Why am I going through this? Kind of a feeling. So they're just acknowledging that they've been with you and they have been doing the best they can to connect with you. So there's a lot of almost like a really deep, deep love that they have for you. And there's almost like tears that are welling up that I'm feeling from them because of how alone you have felt through this process. And they haven't left your side, but they've watched you feel this stuff that you've been going through. So there is a really big amount of love and tenderness that they have for you. So opening up that crown a little bit more as they start to move a little bit closer to you. They're also letting you know that this can be your last lifetime, not to worry, that you don't necessarily...
God, really? Like, that's the best news ever.
They said, let her know this can be her last lifetime.
Oh my God, that's the best news ever. We can end now.
It's rarely a piece of information that's given. So I was like, really? Mm-hmm. Wow. So you don't have to, this is, you don't have to come back. Yeah, you don't have to come back, they're saying. So what they need you to do, or what they really are asking you to do, is to surrender deeply to where you're at. There's almost this like struggle or this fight. So they're with what's going on and who you are and where you find yourself, and the discomfort of the whole thing. And it's not that your life is horrible, right? It's not that you're you've got a horrible life. It's just that you don't want life at all. You don't really want to be in the life. And it feels like there's one thing after another, after another. They're kind of showing me like you kind of get through one thing, and then it seems like there's something else that comes, and then there's something else that comes. And this pattern that you have designed to experience in this lifetime, and it's almost like you can't do it anymore. You're done. You're not doing this again. So it's a pattern that you dropped into experience, and there's an exhaustion. So just drop into if you're on a couch or on the bed, just drop and relax. And they're going to come a little bit closer. And so this feeling, it's the Pleiadians. It's the Pleiadians that you're deeply connected to. And there's also a group of beings that are also connected to you, and it could be that you've got like a hybrid type of like consciousness in you, where it's like you're kind of connected to two specific. You're also very deeply connected to the Syrians, and so they're kind of with you in the space, but they're behind a little bit. When other galactic systems come in, it could be that you have that consciousness inside of you, or it just could be that you've called them in this lifetime to guide you as well. But the Pleiadians are your sort of home. They're you. You're them. They're you. You hold a consciousness of them inside of you. You're an aspect of them. And you have lived, you
Hold on, you're breaking up.
participated, so plain in her face. Oh,
I'm sorry, I heard you participated.
shoot. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, so you were participating on the earth plane when you came in, when she was in a fifth dimensional vibration. So not in third dimension, not as a light worker. So in fifth dimension, there was no light workers. So you're very, very closely connected to the earth and her process as well. You also have a big heart. So there's a lot of emotion that you feel. There's a lot of tenderness that you feel. There's a lot of pain that you feel in humans and in the earth, whether you're connected to it right now or not. It's possible that you shut it off. And in that fifth dimensional space, am I cutting up?
No, I heard you. I just had a question. Did you say I came in a fifth dimensional space, or
Yep.
was that? Oh.
Yeah. So when Earth was originally designed, she was designed in a fifth dimensional frequency.
Okay.
Humans dropped in. Yep. Go ahead.
So when I came in, like back then.
Yeah, millions of years ago.
Right. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. It doesn't help you in your now moment, but it's just a brief history of you.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. It's like, okay, that's great, but how can I survive today? But they always like to give you the history of you, so that you understand really how long you've been here.
No, it's great. That's what I want. I want to know that. I want to know where I come from. That's great.
So the Pleiadians, they've been, and you as an aspect of the Pleiadian, as the consciousness that, so you reside right now as a human being, right? Your consciousness is experiencing the human being. But the interesting piece about being on the earth plane, and this is why the earth plane is so unique, is that the earth plane and this fifth dimensional field and third dimensional field allows for aspects of consciousness to drop in and experience itself, as opposed to being in the consciousness of the Pleiadian consciousness, right? Your consciousness is in the Pleiadian consciousness, therefore you are a Pleiadian. You are experiencing that. You embody that consciousness. If you were to drop into a Syrian consciousness and experience that, you would be the Syrian consciousness, right? You move into an 18th dimensional consciousness to experience it. You are that conscious. There's not an aspect of you that split from the Pleiadian system to move into the Syrian system. Okay? What's so unique about the earth experience is that there are aspects. There's the physical body is holding an aspect of a higher consciousness.
Okay. So I could be holding a Pleiadian aspect and a Syrian aspect.
Yes, it's
Is that
possible.
what you're
There's something
saying?
with the Syrian. Yeah, well, you for sure are holding Palladian.
Okay.
I don't know what the Syrian is yet. I haven't tapped into it, but you're absolutely holding the Palladian.
Okay.
And so when you were in the Palladian consciousness before Earth, before you dropped into Earth, you understood what this all was. You understood the playground. It was the fifth dimension. This is fabulous. This is great. Let's go. You jumped in. Who knows how many lifetimes? It really doesn't matter. It was for millions and millions of years in terms of a life space continuum. And then the Earth shifted down. And this is when you decided, once the Earth shifted down into the third dimension, that is when you decided to participate as a light worker, uh, um, uh, you you did a lot of grid work. That's interesting. Um,
Mhm.
that's really interesting. So you did a lot of grid work early on, when the consciousness was really, really low. So you played out many lifetimes, hundreds of lifetimes, and understand that in each one of those, you were not forced to come back down. So it was every time the physical body passes and the consciousness lifts out of that physical form, you are back into that Palladian consciousness, and you get to choose what you want to do. So you chose. You chose to come back all those times.
Yeah.
And so this is the lifetime where you have chosen to come back. And in that space where you chose, it was 100% clear. It was full of heart. It was full of love. It was full of joy. It wanted to serve, and it wanted to experience the physical shifting of the consciousness in a physical form. So all of this work that you have done in a higher state of consciousness, in this Palladian consciousness inside the physical form, all this work you've done from a higher perspective, okay, that you can't really grasp right now, you wanted to experience it in this now moment. This is the moment on Earth where the actual physical shift is happening. Consciousness is actually physically shifting into that next dimension. It's taking a while, but this is the actual moment in Earth's history where you can physically feel it.
Yeah. It's amazing.
And most of us that have been light workers for a really long time, the reason we're here now is not only to assist, if that's part of it, but to experience it.
Yeah.
And you're thinking to yourself, well, why the freak would I want to experience this? There's nothing fun about it. And from a third dimensional egoic human, it's true, but from a higher consciousness, it's exciting.
Yeah. It really is exciting.
Yeah. Um, and so what they want you to understand, that voice, your voice really showed that excitement. So what they want you to understand, they need you to, first of all, really try to remember who you are, tiny bits of it, and what you've been doing and how long you've been doing it, and that everything you're feeling and everything you've gone through in this lifetime, forget the rest of the lifetimes, it doesn't matter. Everything you've gone through, everything you're feeling, all the anger, frustration, rage, cuss words, all of it is perfect. It's okay. And you are going to move out of it. But one of the things they need you to recognize is it's almost like they need you to soften and surrender into something greater than yourself. So you've put up this fight, they're saying, you've done this great battle. Your third dimensional aspect, your egoic structure, all of that part of you has really done well. You've succeeded. You've kept yourself safe. You've survived this third dimensional sort of space that you've been in. And what's happening and what you are starting to be asked to move into is this next phase where you actually get to kind of enjoy life.
Yeah.
It's actually possible that you're going to be able to enjoy life, and you actually may find it quite miraculous and actually grateful that you're in the physical form. So there's a major shift happening, because right now that just seems like a really dramatic shift. Like, how are you even going to make that pivot? But one of the ways that they are letting you know that this pivot is happening and how to begin to participate or co-create with this pivot is letting go. They keep saying she needs to let go. She needs to let go of control. Okay, so what does that mean? She needs to let go of control. She needs to let go. You need to understand that there is something bigger than you that is walking with you. And the challenge for you in doing that right now is that you're looking around at your life and your experiences and saying, well, where the hell were they? But what you've designed yourself to experience was your design, was your experience. They weren't designed to come in and pull you out of the pain. They weren't designed to come in and pull you out of your human experiences. They're designed to guide you through it. Do you understand the difference?
Oh yeah, I've totally, like, after I got out of the whole like battle, I knew that even though I am still battling like with my physical health, I knew that I only survived that because they were there guiding me.
Yep.
Like I couldn't have done that by myself. And I know they're around, but like physically with my health and being in this body that hurts so bad all the time, like, yeah, sometimes I really do feel alone,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm getting to a point now where I feel them around. I know they're here, but they're right. Like I am still fighting for my health. I'm still fighting and, trying to heal myself, like trying so hard to heal myself.
By yourself, meaning
By
without them.
myself.
Mm-hmm. And they're here to let you know that they can help you as they can help you. And this is going to sound crazy. Like, how are they going to help me? They're not even human. They can help you. They can heal you. They can assist you in healing. They can show you how to do it. They can guide you to assist you. And I can tell you from my own experience of working with specifically a Pleiadian, who's one of my guides, through an addiction that I was going through, that they had a lot of patience for me. But I always knew, I always settled into, I'm going to get through this. And they're going to help me. So they were already holding my healing. They were already holding that I didn't have that addiction anymore. They were waiting. They held it for me. So these beings, these Pleiadians, are already holding the health. They already know what you're capable of stepping into and where you're going. And so what it requires of you and what it required of me is to be able to be gentle with the behaviors and the ways in which I was experiencing my life that I didn't want to experience it, meaning the pain that you're in, the uncomfortableness that you're in, all of the crap that you've been experiencing. When they say soften into it and surrender to it, it literally feels like if you do that, you're only allowing it to prolong. You're only keeping it going, right? Well, you're not doing anything to stop it. And it's the opposite. So what you do, what they're going to ask you to do, and what they're asking you to do right now is to let them come in and help by allowing you to let go and say, you know what, I might need assistance in doing this. I know where I want to go. I know I want this healing out, this physical ailment out of me. This stuff that I've been feeling, I want it out of me. I want it out of me. And I know that I can't do it by myself. I know that there are beings that are completely capable of healing me, and together. So it takes two. It takes the human being that's in the physical form, and it takes these amazing high vibrational beings that can come in and clear it for us. I've seen it happen in my life, and it's a miracle. I have no way of explaining what happened in my life other than I trusted and knew that these beings could heal me and could assist me in healing this addiction. That many people would have said, oh, you've got to go to, these programs, and you got to go to this, and, you got to do all these things, and you got to have a therapist. And I didn't believe that. I didn't believe it. And they were with me every step of the way. Now, I didn't see them, and I didn't feel them, and I didn't hear them all the time. But I knew it.
Right.
I held the knowingness. And this is what they're sharing with you. So how do you do this? You have to begin to start to hold without controlling, because there's a huge piece of when you want to get out of something so badly, we control and push and control and push, because why wouldn't we? We're trying to get out of something, right?
Yes.
Trying to get out of it. You're trying to heal it. You're tired of it. It's like you're stuck in something and you don't want to be in it anymore. You'll do anything you can to get out of it. It's a very normal, natural human reaction. But what they need you to do is stop. Hand it over. You start handing it over to them, and you start recognizing what you are walking into, what you are about to step into. This is very challenging for a physical ailment because you're feeling something and yet you have to hold the reality that you're not in it anymore.
Yeah.
Very, very hard. It's very, very challenging. But what are your choices? What are your options? You can continue doing what you're doing, they're saying, or you can give it over to them, hand it to them, they're saying. Hand it over to them. What do they mean when they say hand it over to them? They mean literally visualize yourself picking up your physical form and saying, here you go, please, take this, fix it for me, heal it for me. And the Pleiadians, believe it or not, are miraculous at helping us. Unbelievable at helping us and healing us. By demanding of them to do it, by asking of them to do it, by consciously remembering that they're doing it, by remembering and consciously holding the knowingness that they are doing it with you, that you're not doing this alone. You will be guided to where you need to go. You will be guided to what you need to do, and they will be healing you on a level that you can't comprehend. But you've got to start to and what do you have to lose, right? Here's the other thing. What do you have to lose to try to buy into this a little bit? What do you have to lose?
Listen, I'm all for it at this point. Like, I'll do anything,
Right.
you know?
Nothing, you have nothing to lose, you know? So you might as well play around with them and maybe it'll work, right? Maybe it'll work. I mean, I've seen it work. I know it works. So I don't have a physical ailment that I ask them to heal, but I ask them to heal an addiction that I've had for 20 something years. Yeah. And they healed it. I healed it. They healed it. We healed it together. But from the moment I decided to heal it until it was healed took about a year and a month. So it didn't happen overnight, but I never gave up on myself and I never gave up on them. So the key to all of this was complete surrender and being okay with where I was. Complete surrender and being okay with where I was. And that's very hard when you don't want to be where you are, when you don't want to be experiencing what you're experiencing.
Yeah.
But it's in those softening moments where the healing pushes through. It's almost like you grip so hard, your hands are tight, your hands are tight, your hands are tight, your hands are tight. And as soon as you just say, the F word, F it, and just release the grip. What if there's something bigger that's going to hold me? What if there's something bigger than me that's actually going to come in and move this through me? Or direct me to where I need to go to move it through me? Or guide me in the direction of what I need to do? If I just let my hands go. And I know what you're thinking or saying in your head. There's a lot of things of, well, I've done that before, or you don't understand what this feels like, and all these things that the human aspect of you is feeling. And that's completely legitimate. They hear you. They are literally waiting for you. They're holding their hands out. Just give it to us. Tell us what you want. Tell us where it hurts. So there's free will. They will not interfere. These beautiful beings of light understand free will. They will not interfere until you say, this is what I need, this is what I want, do this now. And then you have to have patience with your human ego, which is going to not believe, and it's going to fight it, and it's going to say, oh, see, I went 3 days, I didn't have pain, and now all of a sudden I have pain again, and it's worse. See, this isn't working. I'm not doing this. If I had done that, I wouldn't have healed.
that's what seems to happen. It seems like I have these like almost like a moments of bliss and just like pain free, and then all of a sudden it's like bam, like back down like 1,000 times worse than before, and I just like I'm at the bottom again trying to climb my way back up, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I do ask them all the time.
Okay. Okay, good. Let
And
them in. Let them in. So when they're saying let us in, so what I'm trying to get clarity on what that means when they say let us in. Um, so opening up the top of your head, the seventh energy center, opening up the top of your head and literally softening into the body. So letting go. So there's a tightness or a resistance or a contraction kind of a feeling. So they're trying to kind of move in, and it's an uphill battle energetically for them. It's really hard to
is
understand.
there a blockage? Because I feel like I'm really blocked.
Yeah, you have tight. There's a tightness around all. There's just a tightness in your entire energetic field,
Yeah.
almost like you're in fight or flight mode, right? So you're tensed up, and your whole energetic body is tight, and so nothing moves through you. And there's no energy that's moving through you. Everything's tightened, as if it's about to get beat up, right? Or there's something bad that's about to happen.
Yeah.
If what they're showing, that nothing's flowing through you, so there's no alignment or connection you're feeling until it releases, right? So it's like a muscle contraction and then releases. When it releases, that's when you feel joy. You feel like a human again, right? You're like, oh, this is what it feels like to be normal. And it opens for a moment, and then all of a sudden it contracts again. It's the physical body, and it's the physical body releasing a huge amount. What it sounds like is trauma, a huge amount of trauma. Did you have a lot of trauma when you were younger?
I've had trauma all my life.
Like bad
Yeah.
trauma?
Yeah, pretty bad trauma.
So your body is releasing trauma. And what it's doing is there's an aspect of you that's fighting this release. So you can imagine that just imagine that you're an energetic ball, an energetic body, right? You're all energy. Forget about the muscles and all of that right now. You're just an energetic body vibrating with energy, okay? And what's happening through this process that we're going through is light's trying to come in, okay? When is light's trying to come in, the energetic body that you are is starting to almost like breathe or move or expand, open up. And what happens is the trauma that is stored inside of this energetic field. So the trauma is consciousness, the trauma is energy. So it's just energy, okay?
Yeah.
And what is happening is it's literally stuck to the walls of you. It's densely compacted inside of your physical form. It's inside the physical form as pain, physical pain. It's inside the emotional body as emotions, and it's inside the mental body as thoughts and beliefs, okay, and memories. So it's all over the place. And when it comes into the physical form, that's when you are feeling the pains of it. But what is happening is it's stuck. It's like sludge, but really, really potent sludge. And as this light's coming in, it is to peel this sludge out and off of you. And what you're doing instinctively almost is tightening. There's this tightening up of, fuck, here it comes, right? It's very unconscious.
It is very unconscious, but I
Yeah.
definitely feel it. I feel my body's just always so tight. It's
Yeah.
so tight.
It's not a conscious thing where you're like, oh my God, here comes another shift. Oh my God, here comes another round of the trauma trying to move through, right? It's not that. It's just that you're unconsciously, it's a reaction. It's a physical, literally a physical reaction of, holy shit, here comes something big. Almost like if I've never had kids, but it feels like if you were about to have like a contraction,
Yeah.
right? right before you
Yeah.
have birth. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ. And when you're in the contracted state, you're tightened,
Yeah.
right? And then when you release, the trauma goes, the baby comes, right? Or the cervix opens a little bit more.
Right.
So we can tap into what it is, okay? Yes, it's coming out as physical, but what it is, it's trauma. Okay, so now at least we know what it is. We don't have to know what traumas. I'm sure you know a lot of them, but they don't need to know. The beings don't need to know. I don't need to know. I just know there's traumas in there and there's a lot of it and it's stuck. And you don't, here's the other piece about this trauma. You don't have to re-experience it. You don't have to tap into it and say, hello, how are you? I love you. What are you talking about? How do I heal you? You don't have to do any of that nonsense. It's energy. It needs to be cleared, period. End of discussion. And so now you can actually, you have to open yourself to these beings coming in. So when they were saying she needs to invite us in, now I'm understanding. There is you don't want anything touching you. Okay. So even you don't understand this, it's not conscious. Okay. This is something that is an unconscious aspect of what's happening. It's almost like you've been so wounded that it's like, don't do anything. Don't. I don't want anything. I don't even want the goddamn light coming in, right? I don't even want ascension. I don't even want to move into higher states of consciousness. I don't want any of it, right? So you have to let them in. This is part of the surrendering. This is part of the letting go. This is part of the dropping into them, right? Almost imagining if they were actual physical human bodies that were saying, let go, drop into our arms, let us hold you. You don't have to do this anymore. You're safe. And we're going to heal you. We're going to clear this out of you. And it's not going to be painful and it's not going to be hard, right? That's what they would say if they could stand in front of you in a physical form and talk to you, and they would have their arms out and they would have you lay there and they would wrap their arms around you and you would be safe and you would trust and know that you could let this go with them. So what you have to do now, because they're not physically there, they're energetically there. First of all, you got to believe it. And then you got to just keep believing it, regardless of how crazy it seems. And then you've got to open yourself up. So you got to open up the crown. You got to open up your crown. And
How
you
do
got to
I
breathe.
do that?
Just say, open up my crown. My crown's open. Simple. Boom. Just like that.
Okay.
My crown is open. I'm going to open up my crown. And you'll notice that it's very itchy and dark still. So it's going to take a while for you to feel kind of light coming in. Okay. So it's okay. You're just going to keep doing it. And I promise you, 6 months from now, when you say, open up my crown, you're going to feel a heck of a lot different than you do right now. But you keep saying, I'm opening up my crown. I'm opening up my crown. I'm opening up my crown. It's almost like you've been in a dark cave. The shades have been closed, right? You haven't had any light coming in, and you're starting to open the shades. You're starting to open up the light.
Right. I have been doing that. I have been opening my crown, and I mean, I do feel energy sometimes, but it's really inconsistent, you know?
Yeah. Okay, so good. Open up the crown, breathe, and move into your body, or as close as you can get to your body.
Yeah.
Be gentle, right? You don't have to jump right in. It might be a little traumatic for you, but as close as you can get, and then invite the Pleiadians in to push, or you can say it however you want to say it.
Yeah.
But it's actually what you're directing them to do is to move the trauma out. Because if you tell them to clear the pain, basically what they're doing is moving the trauma out.
Yeah. That makes so much sense. So much sense.
So they'll come in at night, they'll come in the morning, they'll come in during, you're constantly asking them to do this. You're constantly aware of this happening. And here's the other piece to this, you hold no expectation.
Yeah.
Because when the human holds the expectation, then they get really upset when they don't hit that expectation.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with a huge amount of trauma, and you're dealing with an ego, a structure, an egoic structure that wants to keep you safe. And so the egoic structure is not going to want you to feel anything, any discomfort, which is why we always store our emotions and things like that, because we do not like feeling. The ego's like, oh, wait, this doesn't feel good. This feels like a bad energy or a bad emotion, so I'm not going to feel that emotion. Oh, this feels like a good emotion. You can feel that one. That one's okay for you to feel. Oh, no, it's not okay for you. The ego dictates, kind of navigates this consciousness that we're in, this field of consciousness. So great, you're opening up the crown, great. When you open up the crown, I want you to visualize that you're opening yourself up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't help, not that this is easy, but it doesn't help beating yourself up because there's nothing you've done wrong. And your physical body, believe it or not, is doing the best it can. It's doing the best it can. And when you beat yourself up, it's you don't deserve it. You don't deserve to beat yourself up. You've done nothing wrong. And the more conscious you become of what's happening, the more painful it may be in the beginning, or the more feelings you may have around it, emotional feelings you may have around it. But the more you are going to open yourself up to clear and heal. And the more you're going to open yourself up to let these beings in, to really move it. So you're coming from a place of complete surrender and openness when you ask them, instead of, get this shit out of me right now. I'm sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of this. Get this out of me. What is this? I don't know. Like, why am I still in this? Please, God, please, God, please. You know, that kind of a thing. Now you're like, I understand this. I get it. Let's work together and let's do this. It's like you're grabbing their arm, you're wrapping your arm around them energetically, and you're saying, we will get through this. We will do this. Because you're not leaving the earth plane right now. And you're not designed to stay in this dimensional field that you're in. So you can imagine yourself, visualizing yourself, that you're literally moving through two panes of glass. And you're moving through one dimensional space or frequency. It's not even a dimension. Let's not even say that. One frequency. So you're moving through one frequency that you've been in for the last however many years you've been doing this earthly life. Okay? So that's you've lived this amazing, not so great earthly life in this very dense consciousness. And you are coming closer and closer to this pane of glass that you're about to move through. And as you move through that pane of glass, you're going to start to move into another pane of glass, which is a higher frequency. And so as you are moving literally through that pane of glass, and all this consciousness is starting to unravel and disrupt your entire system, so that it can push through and move through. You're feeling physically a lot. You feel like you're in between that pane of glass and you're never going to get anywhere. This is it. You're exhausted. You can't even possibly imagine putting your foot forward to get out of that pane of glass so that you can move into the next pane of glass, which is a higher frequency, which, believe it or not, you're actually going to be a completely different person.
Yeah, which is what I want more than anything. That's
Right.
what I want.
You're moving there. You're on your trajectory is there. You're just in this space where it's like, I can't fathom that. I cannot fathom that. I need this out of me. So great. Now you get to co-create and heal this. It's not even healing. There's no healing done. If you really look at what it is, it's just clearing.
Yeah.
You're just clearing it out of you. Is
I
really
just
what you're
feel
doing.
like it's like just remnants, like just leftover crap, you know,
It
like
is.
all just stored in my body. It needs
Exactly. Exactly. So you have to now create control of the master being that you are, the master light being that you are, not the human. Master light being that you are, the person, the aspect of you that knows what this is, the aspect of you that knows from a higher space what this is and how to move it through.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Okay, so the ego is going to continue to come in and say, whoa, 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 whoa. It's like the little police officer. What are you doing? We don't do it like this. No. This is not safe and there is no proof. Please keep it in you. Don't do that. The ego just is doing its beautiful job. And so you have to start to love the ego and recognize what the ego's doing. It's almost like, literally imagine the ego has a suit on of some sort, a costume. Here comes the ego again. You're really annoying. Like, I see what you're doing. I understand the design of you. The ego was designed in the third dimension to navigate duality. Okay, so it tells you what's good and what's bad. It tells you the great things you want to feel, the things you don't want to feel. It just has tons of judgments, right? Lets you just really navigate this. Thank you so much for keeping me safe. As we step into this next pane of glass, it's going to get real loud because it's not capable of controlling you anymore, of keeping you safe, doing its job. It shifts as well, though, because it doesn't go anywhere. It stays with you. So it shifts as well. Okay, and your higher, beautiful higher self is doing its darndest to connect with you patiently, just like these beings. You've got so much support around you for what you're going through. Yeah. So much support, even though it doesn't feel like that, and you wish that it just could just snap your fingers. It's like, well, why don't I just snap my fingers, and why can't they just take it? Because this is your journey. This is your journey.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that.
So we're going to breathe, and we're going to come into the body as much as you can. The goal is for you to actually come into your physical body completely. If you actually went into your physical body right now, you may kind of get nauseous. I don't know what you would do, but we can try to bring you into your body if you want to sit in there and sit for a second.
Sure.
Okay. So keep your crown wide open. Let's bring the Pleiadians a little bit closer so they can just really be with you. And this is going to give you a good visual. So let your imagination just be in the field of visualizing all of this. This is going to give you a real visual of what's going on inside you. So maybe you'll have a little more compassion for yourself. So crown's open. Pleiadians are close to you on the left-hand side. And we're going to feel our breath. So I want you to feel as heavy as you possibly can. I want you to feel your legs, your toes, your fingers, your shoulders, your back. I want you to feel as much as you possibly can. The neck. And then I want you to get that breath. I want you to tap into your breath. And I want you to focus the breath in one spot inside your body. Maybe it's your belly, a little bit higher by your chest, maybe right in the middle where your solar plexus is. I want you to find that one spot where your breath is expanding and contracting. And then I want you to imagine like a rope of some sort, or I want you to imagine yourself pulling yourself closer and closer to that spot that's inside your body. Moving through the physical body, so moving through the walls, plopping inside, and settling in for a moment. And maybe you're noticing the dark walls of your body. Maybe you can notice the channel that you have that's a little bit clogged, that goes up to the top of your head. You can see that your crown is open. You can see that there's light that's trying to come in. It's almost like the door is propped open, right? And there's light coming in, but it's not completely open yet. And you can see the channel that it's trying to move through, but there's a lot of darkness, right? Density. There's a lot of sadness. So if you really start to tap into what's held inside of this vessel, it's a lot of sadness. Right? Huge amount of sadness that's being peeled and moved down. So I want you to look down. I want you to notice that the channel keeps going, whether you can see it or not. There's a channel that goes through the second energy center, the sacral, and then the root, the first, and it goes straight down to the earth. So it goes out of your body, it goes out your feet and out of the body. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. It's okay if you can't. There is something there. It's designed energetically to funnel this stuff out. And the earth takes it lovingly and transmutes it. She does this 24 hours, all the time, for all the amazing humans. And she does it for herself. And there's a lot of humans that do it for her. That's what grid workers do. That's actually what you did. And there's lifetimes where you've transmuted the earth's energy. So now you're going to let her transmute your energy. This is how it works, whether the human's aware of it or not. The earth always takes it and transmutes it. That's why a lot of times people like to be on the earth, grounded down into the earth. So when you look back up for a moment, you can ask for that crown to open a little bit more, to let more of that light in. And just recognize the courage it takes to really breathe through all of this. And that this can happen very quickly. And as you're inside your body, sort of recognizing all of this, start to tap into the beautiful Pleiadians that are right next to you, holding your hand, tapping you on the head, kind of having their hand right on the head, right on the third eye, your forehead. They're letting you know that they see it, they understand, and they're here to assist, to move. They can bring a lot of healing light that will transmute it. It's really kind of caked onto the sides of the walls. You can almost see it on the sides of the walls. And they're saying, don't worry, we've got this, is what they're saying. Don't worry, we've got this. And they're also saying this is nothing. We've seen worse, sort of, so it's not bad. You're okay, you're going to be okay. You're going to get through this. You're going to get through it. But we need you to consciously see what it is you're getting through. And that there's nothing wrong with you. And your physical body is just reacting to the heaviness of what's inside. And every time you sort of let go of that contraction and open up and feel human again and feel light again and feel great again, the contraction starts. So when you start to feel that contraction, you invite us in. You lay, you throw up your arms, you do whatever it is, you go lay in the bath. When you feel that contraction coming, the tightness coming, that is the sign where you let go and you let us come in. You don't try to do anything on your own. So you go and you lay, if you can. You go and you sit in a shower. You go lay in a bathtub. You do whatever it is that's going to make your body physically relaxed. And then you come into your body and breath, you open up your crown, and you invite us in. And we begin to move this through you. And then the contraction will release, the pain will release, you'll go about your days, and then it'll happen again. Because just like a baby or many other things, it takes many contractions and expansion, contraction and expansion, before you don't need any more contractions. So it doesn't happen overnight, but it will happen. You have not designed your life to stay in this space. You designed a very challenging lifetime in terms of the consciousnesses you wanted to experience. It was like, this is my last hurrah, I'm going to really experience. And now your physical body is purging it out. It's transmuting it out, and that's what you're feeling. You're at the end. You're at the end. Not the end of your life, the end of this chapter. You're at the end of trauma. You're at the end of pain. You're at the end of suffering and struggling. You're at the end of it. So when you start feeling any pains, your prescription is to go and lay and be comfortable somewhere, and you invite us in. And a bath, water is very, very healing, because it allows your body is extremely relaxed and comfortable in water. And when you're in that water, you breathe, come in, open up, and invite us in. And you just surrender, you soften, you drop, you relax. You can even imagine that you're in our arms, and we're holding you in the water while we do this surgery, this energetic surgery, over and over and over, until it's gone. This is divine perfected time, meaning this is the exact time and the exact moment that this was designed to happen for you. This was orchestrated by you perfectly. Here we go, and here we are. Now we get to get going, because once we move through this, then we have a whole new life we get to co-create with you. You will be a whole different person. You will look different, sound different, feel different, weigh different. Your weight will be different. Everything is going to be different. You won't recognize yourself. This is how you have designed it. You are at the very end of this first intense, long process, journey, life. And we are meeting you here in this moment to walk you into the next. Assisting you. And as long as you allow us and know, believe, trust, hold that reality that it is real, that it is true, it will be. The human has free will. You have free will. You can create any reality that you want. If you don't want to believe that we are with you and that we can do this with you, then that will be the reality that will present itself. We know that's not the case for you, but we are just sharing that. Miracle upon miracle upon miracle is happening with the humans right now. And if you want to gauge your progress, because it will be challenging to sort of recognize sometimes where you were and where you are, how far you've come. You can create a journal where you are mapping your pain, mapping the amount of days, mapping how long you laid and let us heal you, those kinds of things. You can start to measure it. Today, I felt on a scale of 1 to 10, I was in this kind of pain. This is what I did. I connected with the Pleiadians 10 times. Okay, great. Day 2. I was in this kind of pain. I didn't connect with the Pleiadians at all. Okay, day 3. You'll start to see patterns. Oh, look at when I wasn't connecting to the Pleiadians, look at how I felt. Oh, look at when I did connect, look at what happened. I laid in the bathtub for this amount of time and had them work on me. I had them work on me right before I got to bed last night. I woke up this morning and this is how I felt. So you're tracking it yourself. So you can become acutely aware of how we work with you. Otherwise, you leave it up to your ego and your ego is going to convince you, oh, nothing's happening. When everything is happening. And we love your ego just as much as we love the aspect of you of the higher self, just as much as we love the aspect of you that is us inside of you.
Thank you.
So this is where you are. And there will come a time where you will love yourself immensely for what you went through, the way we love you. It's quite possible that you may actually decide to come back down.
Oh God,
But in this now moment, there is absolutely no way. So remember, believe it or not, what you are experiencing right now is why you came down.
I believe it.
This physical shifting is a huge part of what you wanted to experience. You wanted to literally experience and feel physically shift in consciousness, and that's what's happening to you. Your textbook, Shifting in Consciousness. If there was a book to be written, a scientific book of what shifting in consciousness looks like and feels like, you would be a textbook. So you chose experiences that were going to really allow you to physically feel what it means to shift consciousness. And from that perspective, bring it on. Let's go. Let's do this. From that perspective, you don't care and nothing matters. This is great. Let's do this. I'm ready. What do I need to do? I'll get my journal out. I'll start writing. This is fabulous. From that perspective, it's like, this is great. From the human injured, painful, egoic aspect of you, it's like, I can't do this anymore. But from the higher perspective, it's like, yes, you can. This is exactly why you dropped in. You have a front row seat. You have a front row seat to what is happening.
I mean, I suspected that this was going to be the end, but this is so hugely validating to know that I'm not just making that up, and it really is shifting out.
Yeah, you're not making it up. And none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. You're not making it up. And the biggest piece is you did nothing wrong. You didn't do anything. That's the biggest piece.
It is.
You didn't do anything
Because I
wrong.
always feel like, what did I do? Like, how did I create this? You know?
So the piece that is, do you have a lot of tiredness? Do you have a lot of feeling like you just need to lay and
Yeah. Just no energy, just tired all the time.
yeah. So what they're saying is the faster you can kind of let yourself consciously sort of say, okay, I'm going to lay, but I'm going to consciously lay for my healing that I'm getting today. Not, I'm going to lay because I have to lay because I have no energy and I'm so frustrated and annoyed and I don't want to be laying because I'm not, this is lazy and I need to live my life and I want to live my life and I don't want to feel this exhausted. And that's going to happen. You're still going to have those. Okay. But can you also find it when you are exhausted and you're tired of the exhaustion? Can you say, okay, I'm going into the doctor's office. Now I'm going to go sit and get my healing. Okay, I'm going to go get my healing right now. I'm so exhausted. I'm so frustrated. I'm so angry. I'm going to sit and get my god dang healing right now. And then you decide how you're going to set up your healing. You know, you can decide if you're going to do the healing in the bathtub, in the shower, outside somewhere, on your bed, wherever you're comfortable. And then you're ready for the healing. Let's go. And then the healing begins, and then you do the healing, and then you get up when you're ready to get up and you go about the rest of your day. And that's one of the things you can kind of track. Did I do my healing today or not? Did I need to do my healing today? How long was my healing? Right? Because no doctor is going to heal this. They're not.
No.
They're not going to heal it. They're going to give you things to fix the pain you're feeling, but they're not going to heal it. That's the frustrating part that the humans are going through.
Well, yeah, I gave up on doctors years ago. I've been, healing myself naturally, and yeah, I gave up on that. I know
So
it's not.
there's nothing wrong with you. Yes, you could label that you have chronic fatigue or whatever it is that the human wants to call it, right? But
Right.
that's just the way the human labels it. Just like the humans label us the Pleiadians. We're not actually the Pleiadians. We don't even have a name, right? So
Right.
it's just a label that you can put onto a consciousness that the human is experiencing. Okay?
Right.
So you don't have anything that is in you or on you that is stuck to you. You don't have these things. You have consciousness inside of you from trauma that is intense and powerful and sticking to you, not really wanting to be released. And so as the light is coming in from the natural process of ascension, you are being forced to transmute it so that you can shift in your consciousness within the physical form.
Yeah.
And so that's what's happening.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's what's happening. And so now you have a regimen that you can do. Do you understand the regimen?
Yes.
So you can do this all day, every day, once a day, once every 2 days, whatever feels called for you to do it. They're right by your side. You can visualize them holding your hand. You can visualize them putting their hands on your head. You can visualize them that what they're going to be doing is they will be moving really potent light through you. And what they're going to be doing is they're going to be literally flushing your system out.
So
Almost like,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
it would almost be like if you had cancer and you were going and getting chemotherapy.
Yeah.
Right? You put your hand out, an IV goes in, and the IV goes into where the cancerous cells are, which is just consciousness, and it flushes it through, right? That's what they're going to be doing.
So does that have the potential to be painful when that happens? Because I had a couple of visits, I think two, from an Arcturian, and he helped me with healing, and it was really painful. Like you said, with the body contracting, like I felt my body contracting. Like it really, really intense. I mean, I made it through it, but it felt really, really intense and almost painful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do, because it pushed it. It literally dislodged it.
Yeah.
It's like it dislodged and flushed, and that dislodging, almost like passing a kidney stone. Um, no,
Do
it's
you?
not going. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
They're saying that it's going to take a little bit longer, but it will be soft. It will be gentle.
Okay.
One of the ways that you're going to feel things clearing in you is you're going to have a lot of energy in your legs. You're going to start to need to move
Yeah.
your legs. You're gonna need to move your arms. When the Pleiadians work on your
You.
physical
Oh
form,
my God.
there's an intense amount of energy through the legs. It's almost painful. It can be a
You know
very
what's
painful.
crazy is I've been feeling energy in my legs the past like 3 days.
Yeah,
Just like all day long, just like these little like twitches and like just feelings of like energy in my legs.
yeah, that's awesome. So that's really a great sign, because when the Palladians work on us, and they're moving consciousness through, the last area that it goes through is the legs, and that's where you'll feel the spasms, you'll
Yeah.
feel the jolts, you'll feel the need to kind of stretch.
Yeah.
Um, and that's where that's the last part of it going through, and that's where you can really feel the energy of it moving. So it's actually great that that's what you're feeling, because it sounds like they're already starting to do this work on you. Um, and so at night, you may feel jolts. You may wake up in the middle of the night with energy jolts, which is a great sign. So that's another thing that you can kind of mark on your journal. Did you have the energy jolts today?
Yeah.
Did you wake? So you're going to feel kicks. You're going to feel energetic stuff through your body. That's a good sign. That means things are moving.
Yeah. Because I mean, I went from feeling like nothing, like I couldn't feel anything in my body, you know, it was just dead. It just
Yeah.
felt dead.
Yeah. You're going
And
to feel more jolts, more kicks, more movement, more energy,
yeah,
stretching.
I'm definitely feeling more movement in my body, which is great.
Yeah. So it's a process. It's a human process. It's a human journey. It doesn't happen overnight. And by all means, don't have the expectation. And don't label yourself. Don't connect to any labels.
Yeah, I don't. I don't.
And you have to hold the knowingness that this is already out of you.
Yeah.
If you have to
I think
create a
that'll
picture,
be I think that'll be easier now after this session to
yeah,
do that.
because you kind of can understand, you can visualize now a little bit more of what's happening.
Right.
Um, So, whatever you need to do to really hold 100% knowingness that you have the body, a healed body, you want to do that. If that's drawing a picture, or if that's putting a statement somewhere, or, whatever you need to do, you want to visualize that they are holding that healed body for you.
Yeah.
And you're stepping into it no matter what. You just don't know when.
Right.
It's like, I don't know when I'm stepping into that, but I'm stepping into that. So let's do this. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I can't wait. I can't wait till I'm in that space and I'm in that body and I'm living that life.
Yeah, I really
That's
can't.
when you start to appreciate, that's when you'll actually start to appreciate being down here, because you're going to turn around and say, holy, I really felt consciousness shift.
Yeah.
A lot of people won't be able to say that. They'll shift, but they won't be able to say that they really physically felt it.
Right.
And it's very possible that at some point you will turn around and assist others.
I would love that. I mean, I wanted to ask you about my soul purpose too, if they had anything to say
So it's
about
going to
that.
become, it's not, you don't need to worry, you do not worry about that right now. So it's going to pop in, or it's already in you, but it will pop up, open up, activate it as soon as you are clear.
Yeah.
As soon as you're through that pane of glass, boom, you're going to know exactly what you're here to do.
Yeah. Okay.
You are a teacher. You are a way shower. You're very ancient in your knowledge of how everything works. You're just remembering. So
Yeah.
it's very possible that what you will end up doing is dealing with shiftings of consciousness inside the physical form. Who
Yeah.
knows? They're not going
Yeah.
to tell you. What they are going to tell you is don't worry about it, because that's the last thing you need to be holding in terms of stress or anxiety or worry, right? You will absolutely, there's no way, shape, or form you are not going to be doing what you came onto the earth plane to do. You just haven't done it yet because you have been living in this dense consciousness. Your work,
Right.
you can't do the work in this dense consciousness. You are moving out of this dense consciousness. It doesn't matter why, when, how, why would I choose it this late? Why am I waiting this long? It doesn't matter. There's no point in even going there. It is what it is. It's happening now. Great. And when you move through that pane of glass into that next pane of glass, that next frequency, boom, it's going to come right in. And that's going to be the easy part. That's going to be easy.
Great.
There's going to be
I
no,
can't wait for the easy part.
yeah, that's going to be easy. It's going to be so easy. It's going to be very, very easy. You're going to be aligned. You're going to say, holy heck, this is what it means to be awake.
Yeah.
Holy cow, this is what it means to be awake. Wow. You're going to look back and look at how clogged you were, how dense you were, how heavy you were, the trauma you were holding. You're going to love it and honor it and appreciate it and admire it and respect it and hold it up like it was the greatest gift you ever got. And you're literally moving through that first pane of glass. And you
Yeah.
just have to, it's like birthing. It's like, just keep going, just go, just get
Yeah.
through it. You're almost done. And boom, you come out the other side. So it's really a matter of the courage it takes for you to live your life is unbelievable. The courage it takes for you to start to wake up is unbelievable. And the courage it's going to take for you to move through this pane of glass is unbelievable, because you have nobody to trust but yourself and the words of this session and these beings that you can't see.
Yeah.
The other thing I want you to understand about working with these beings is you're not going to hear them. Maybe you will. It doesn't matter. It'll be a voice in your head. That's how it is for me. Okay. So there's not this special loud voice that you're going to hear all of a sudden. Sometimes sometimes you'll feel them and sometimes you won't. I rarely feel them. Rarely feel them.
Yeah.
But I have a deep knowingness that they are with me. I have a deep knowingness that anything I ask for, I receive. I have a deep knowingness that anything I need, I will receive from them. Anything I ask for, I'll receive from them. Anything. And it happens.
Yeah.
I know I'm not alone. I feel I'm not alone. Just like you. You know you're not alone. You feel you're not alone. So don't understand that it's completely normal to not hear them and to not feel them.
Yeah.
It's just how it is, you know. And you hear them through your own voice in your head. They talk to you all the time. They'll continue to talk to you. So you do hear them. It just sounds like your own voice.
Yeah.
The more that you kind of surrender to this, and the more that you open to this, and the more that you are conscious every single day, the faster this will move.
Yeah. I'm excited to get started.
I'm excited for you to get started too.
I wanted to ask you about these ships I've been seeing at night. I don't
Yep.
know. Are they Pleiadian?
Are they long? What do they look like?
They're they're not big. They're very kind of small, like smaller than a small plane, and they have um
Are they bright? Like, do they shine a light? Are they like blinky?
they have blinky lights. They have red and white, and it blinks like it'll blink white, red, white, red, white, red. The one I did see up close was like a triangle shape.
Yeah, so sometimes those are the Octurians. So
Really?
yeah, they like to play around. The Octurians are really funny. They have a really big sense of humor. And they like to play in the sky and show humans
Oh
their
my God. They come all night long. I mean, it's like constant. Like I'll look out my window, there'll be three right outside my window. I mean, they just fly by and fly by and fly by and fly by. It's constant, like all night long. It's pretty crazy.
So
That's
it's
why I
very.
was surprised that Arcturian didn't come up at all.
Mm-mm. So it's probably something that is going to be a part of your path when you move through that pane of glass and into the next. It's very possible that they're going to be working with you in your purpose work.
Yeah.
So the Octurians, what they do with a lot of the humans that are light workers, they have healing modalities and healing techniques and healing devices that they teach humans. They do implants inside of humans that allow humans to have access to this multidimensional healing stuff. And so it's very possible that you have contracted with. They're waiting for you. They're like, when is she going to be ready? Right. It's very possible that you're going to be working with them with this, whatever you're going to be doing in your purpose work. It's most likely, because that's part of why they probably came in to do the healing on you, but you just weren't ready for that intensity. So they're not your star family in terms of the consciousness that you dropped into and who's here to be basically your mother and father and hold you through this process. But what happens is, as soon as you move into that next pane of glass and you start doing your purpose work, the Pleiadians are just going to be quiet and they're going to be loving you and holding you and guiding you. But it's the Arcturians that you'll be connecting to and doing the healing work. There's also something with the Syrians because they're in the background. So the Syrians are there as well. So they're not going to go away. So there's something about them in your life at some point down the road. So you've got a long road ahead of you in terms of whatever it is that you're going to be doing. But yeah, the Arcturians are showing themselves to you. They think they're really cute and funny when they do those things in the skies.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys are hilarious. They like to move themselves quickly too. Like they'll move around and they'll blink and then they'll disappear and they'll come back. They're tiny.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, that's an Arcturian. They're really hilarious. They're adorable. My God, they're freaking adorable. So
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's it.
Do you pick up anything with nature spirits or fairies, anything like that?
No, but if you were not in this session, but if you were to align yourself and connect with the element, if you were to actually be outside and sort of align and ground yourself down and your feet are on the ground and you don't have any shoes on and things like that, I wouldn't be surprised that you had all kinds of things around you.
Yeah, I see them every night. They hang outside my window.
Yeah, they're waiting. These are all things that are waiting for you.
That's what it feels like. It's like they're right outside my window. The ships and the fairies. Like when I would video the ships, I would see these little tiny flashes of light. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I don't see that with my eyes. And then like weeks later, I realized that they were like little fairies in the sky around the ships.
Mm-hmm. They're waiting for you. So this is all stuff that's coming. It's kind of like you're already aware of
it. Like a preview. It's like a preview.
But I mean, you need to be aware of how powerful you are energetically by what's already being given to you. It's like you're being shown before you're even ready what's coming. And most humans don't have that. Most humans don't get that. Most humans don't look outside and see Arcturian ships. Most humans don't look outside and see fairies. So there's a reason for it. They're preparing you, and you're a pretty powerful, potent being of light doing work on the earth plane. And it's going to be easy because you're not going to be designed to struggle in this next pane of glass that you're moving through. You will have everything you want and then some. And you will be so aligned and so connected and so in love with life that you're not even going to want to leave.
Wouldn't that be some shit? Like that would be crazy.
Trust me, you won't. And you'll be serving. You'll literally look back and be like, oh my God, I can't believe I made it.
Yeah. I feel that. I really, 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 really feel that. It's so nice to get the validation to know that it's not my imagination. I'm not making it up. It is going to happen. And, it's just, it feels so good. I can't thank you enough. Like, it's so good, because now I can connect and know that I'm not just like making this shit up in my head and like it's just real, and they're gonna help me heal, and I'm gonna actually be clear one day of all this stuff. And it's just to know that is,
you will. You absolutely unequivocally will. Now you have free will. Okay. So you can prolong it by not believing it, or you can prolong it by not holding that reality. You can prolong it. Okay. But it's a reality that's in front of you that you're stepping into, that you've designed yourself to walk into. Now, when you walk into it, it's up to you. Meaning, how committed can you be to the knowingness of this, no matter
I'm
what you're
walking
feeling?
into this like right after we hang up. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like, okay, let's do this.
And on the
Yeah.
days where it's painful and you feel like everything you've been doing has been for nothing, that's the day you cling to that reality more than anything. Trust me when I tell you this, because I've gone through it.
Mm.
It doesn't stay high. So there will be days where you will feel intense pain. That is the day that you keep your head up and you remember what you're doing. You remember that reality you're walking into.
Yeah.
You move through the day because the next day is completely different.
Yeah.
You remember that, and you stay as loving as you can to your experience. You don't have to love yourself, but if you can, great. But love your experience. Love that. Just say, fuck it. This is what's happening. I'm moving through it. What can I do? This is what's happening. I'm moving through it.
Yeah.
And you do your medicine things, your prescription medicine things they want you to do, and you keep going.
Yeah.
And you'll devour the happy times, and you'll accept the times where you're in pain, and you'll know that you are moving through it, and it will happen fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised 6 months from now if you're committed and you believe this beyond any other thing in the world, it'll
I
happen.
do. I do. I really, really do.
Our
I really
desire,
do.
yeah, our desire for something and our knowingness that it's ours, that we can have it, and that we're not in charge, that there is something way freaking bigger than us that is us doing it.
Yeah.
So it is an aspect of you that's doing it. It's just that you can't do it from your third dimensional form, so they're doing it for you.
Right. Yeah, it's amazing.
So your work comes from this. Your work is birthed from this.
Yeah, I believe that. I don't think all of this suffering was for nothing. I think I'm going to use it to help other people not suffer as
Hopefully
much
you
as I.
will, because take it from me, there's a lot of people that are in some pretty dire places that don't understand
Yeah.
physically what's happening. And you're in a really good place of really understanding this. And when you can understand it, then you can buy into it. When you can buy into it, then you can believe it and have knowingness, and then you walk right into it.
Yeah. I'm so ready. I'm so ready to do it.
It's exciting. I mean, whatever you need to do, right? I mean, here's the other thing. It's like if you have to if they're like, if you get this hit that you have to go to some lake for a day, then that's what you do. I mean, seriously, you just do whatever it is that you're called to do.
Yeah.
If you're told to drink some weird water thing, then that's what you do. You just do whatever it is that they tell you without question.
Yeah.
If they're
I
like,
will.
you put your phone in 3 rooms down the hall, that's what you do. It's like you just say, okay, whatever else. What else do I need to do? Okay, fine, I'll do it. Okay, fine, I'll do it. Okay, fine, I'll do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally will. I really will. There's nothing I want more than to heal this body. There's nothing in this world that I want more than that.
So could you feel inside when we went in? Could you feel inside?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Good. All right.
Wow. Thank you so
Wow.
much.
What an amazing individual, light being and human you are. You're going to sit down on that doctor's table, so to speak, and say, this is the time you guys are working on me. Let's do it. And when
Yeah.
you do that, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to think about something. You don't have to visualize them doing anything. You literally just lay there. And if you fall asleep, great. And if you're awake, great. It's almost like you're going to the doctor's office and you're having some work done.
So I don't have to meditate or anything. I could
No,
just lay down and go to sleep.
Yeah, you're just setting the intention of, okay, I'm getting my work, I forgot the word they used, but getting your treatment done, right?
Yeah.
And so when you feel the call to get the treatment done because you're feeling pain or you're feeling exhaustion or whatever, you go and you lay on the bathtub, or you do it in the shower, or you lay on your bed, whatever you want to do, or your couch, and you say, okay, this is my time, I'm going to get my healing work, you guys, let's go. You lay down, you close your eyes, and you breathe into your body first, and you open up your crown, and then you tell the Pleiadians to come in and do the work. It's time to do my healing work. Like you're going in and getting, chemotherapy.
Yeah.
And you
Great.
can stay awake while they do it, or you can go to sleep, whatever you want to do.
Great.
And it can be for 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 45 minutes. It doesn't matter the time.
That's
We're going to
great.
heal you, they said. We're going to clear you. We're going to clear this.
Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Wow. What an amazing time we're in, and what an amazing opportunity you're going to have to be able to do this, because everything is energy.
Right. And that's after all of the healing modalities I've tried, and, the food and the supplements and the this and the that and it all comes down to energy. And that's like the space I was in before we even had this session. And I'm just kind of like, wow, it
Yep.
really is. It really is just this trauma stuck in my body.
Massive trauma stuck in your body, and it is energy. It is just, and it's your own knowingness that you are transmuting.
Yeah.
It's your own knowingness that you are doing this, that this is happening.
Yeah.
It's happening. Okay, great. It's happening. I absolutely 100% know this is happening, regardless of what my physical body may be feeling or experiencing in this now moment.
Yeah. Oh, I have one more quick question.
Yeah.
Do you mind?
No, go ahead.
So in December, like right before Christmas, I had this like really freaky allergic reaction and almost died. And it was like out of nowhere, and it was really strange, and I was never really quite sure why that happened. Do they have anything to say about that?
Hold on a minute. Let me tap back in. Okay, say it again.
I had like a really freaky allergic reaction out of nowhere and almost died. Like I was probably a minute from actually dying by the time I got to the hospital. And and it was just really strange circumstances and weird. And I felt like as it was happening, like it was happening for a reason, but I could never put my finger on why it happened. And it kind of almost like made a separation. It felt like it was the end of a timeline or something, or like I was supposed to die, because like after that happened, I started coming across all these people that had NDEs and all this stuff. I don't know. It was just weird. I never really figured
No,
out.
you were hitting it on the nail on the head. So what that was it was a choice you had on a quantum level. So different aspects of you were playing out a moment where you were deciding what path you were going to take, and there was an option to die and be done and just
Yeah.
be over it, and then there was an option of, I'm going to do this. And so there was a splitting. So when you're saying, I think there was like a timeline that you were jumping out of and into, basically you can imagine timelines converging or intersecting in that now moment where you had that allergic reaction, and almost as if it was a movie, right? It was
Yeah.
like right then and there you switched and you said, I'm doing it. And
Oh,
you
I
had
got the
the
chills.
you had
So
an
crazy.
option to just say, either would have been okay. There would have been no right or wrong about it, but you were giving yourself, you were recognizing that there was an option, and because you survived, you recognized that you took that option.
Yeah.
um, and you moved over, and that's when things shifted for you. consciously or unconsciously, that's when things became not only intense, but you also held a knowingness that you were going to do this.
Yeah.
But with that knowingness that you were going to do this, there was also this real intense anger, and there was a lot of other, it got dark. But there was also this intuitive knowingness that you were doing something now. There was something bigger than you that was happening.
Yeah.
Um, so it's interesting. It was like there's just showing these merging, these collapsing timelines that merged, that intersected at one specific kind of point. And then that one point was when you almost died. And then you literally clicked over, moved over to energetically moved over and said, I'll choose this one. And then you did. It's pretty cool. And
Wow. That is pretty
yeah.
cool.
So people that have near-death experiences are in that cross point for a longer period of time.
Right.
They don't make the decision quite yet. They're sitting in that for a moment, like, oh, let me think. What do I want to do? They take some time, right? You didn't do
Yeah.
that. You were like, there's the cross point. Boom, I'm going.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
That's pretty amazing. So, well, thank you for doing this, for doing
Yeah.
this lifetime, and for trusting that you're going to get through this.